Preamble again. Okay, we're going to work on the splitting hands. Now we see splitting hands in so many different katas, and it looks different. In Saifa, it's mainly stuck together. You see Hangetsu, it's a little bit further. You see it in Sanchin, in some Sanchins where the hands go forward and back. So we have that splitting action. We're going to take it today basically out of the Hangetsu. There's a movement that does this, okay, and then right at the end it pivots for the two strikings. So we're going to go through a number of different ideas. Now, Kyusho is sort of a renaissance, okay? Kyusho frees you. When you were going through the Dark Ages, you were told what to do, when to do it. The Renaissance got people thinking for themselves, okay? And therefore, society really grew because of that. All right, so what you need to do in your katas is take the Kyusho, which is the basis or the core of most martial arts, and then you have to develop what you think is going to work for yourself. So I'm just going to give you one interpretation of this movement from the Hangetsu, okay? If you could come in with a straight strike. What I'm going to do is on the splitting hand, I'm going to catch that nerve, okay? I'm going to lock into the body and pull, and that would be the action to get him into me closer, or I would have stepped in with that just to get closer to him, depending on the dynamic of the action. Now I'm going to catch the nerves on the inside of the arm to pull. At the same time, I'm going to catch the iliac nerve up on the top with the downward hand. Now in the picture of Funakoshi, you'll see a very purposeful single blade of grass hand lowered and a single blade of grass hand higher. Excuse me, it's this way. All right, so we're going to use that single blade of grass hand, but we're going to use one as the grasping action with that turning action that the single blade of grass depicts. And then we're going to use it a different way with the lower hand, because the lower hand is going this way. We're going to use that same rotation, but focusing on the iron bone hand. All right, so as the punch comes in, what I'm doing is I'm going to catch the nerve if I can. I'm going to lock in and pull the person into that attack. My thumb, my iron bone hand is on that iliac crest, which I can drop the person quite easily with. Thanks, sorry. Okay, as he comes in again, I've caught the nerve, which he's getting a little aggravated on. I'm catching the nerve on the inside of the hand to pull. At that pulling point, I'm stepping in to take the person down. And you'll see that that application works. So I'm going to work softer on that. So I've pulled him into this movement. The next movement, once this foot is forward, is to step off to the side. And I'm going to pull the hand in. Right from here, what I'm going to do is the movement is this, followed by the strikes. So I've caught him in with this, and I've got this arm. Now, if I've caught him on this side of the head, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compress the neck, or at the same time, I'm going to pull here, and I'm going to pull here, which will eventually get to that action. And if I've done that motion with this here, okay, you're going to start to see that he loses his footing. He saw the vibration of the nerves because the brain stem was attacked. All right, now the last two movements, because you come in with that straight punch again, so I'm going to hook right into the arm here to catch that nerve, right underneath it and through here to catch that, weak that, push that down. I'm going to catch up underneath here. I'm going to pull in as I pull both hands back into that action. My first punch is going to direct his head this way. My second punch is going to do that way. Okay, so slowly all the way through, catching in and pulling, this pulling back, and then I'm going to go into the double punch. Okay, and you can see the nerve reactions all the way through that. The only thing you're going to have a little difficulty in is when you once you come into here, you don't want to step in too close to the person because their forward momentum is coming in. So you want to make sure that it's a more shallow step than the Kata shows, okay? And make sure that you catch them enough So when you catch here, you can step back to further draw him in, breaking his balance, ungrounding him, weakening him for the subsequent movements. Okay? Could you describe the feeling, not so much on the hip, because we all know it's just pain and the leg loses control, but more on the pull?
On the first pull, I definitely got the, this took the balance anyway, that one completely drained me out. So I had the head pulling in, and then that took my legs completely. And then any chance of recovering balance is offset by the punch because you're pulling. But instead of it just being a physical pull, it didn't feel like you were grabbing my head and turning. It was just the shake almost, that release.
Right.
Struck.
And for safety, if you're going to do this, when I work his head, I'm not going to really like yank it, because then you're going to have some problems with the vertebrae in the neck. So what I want to do is I want to start it, but almost before I'm done my movement, I'm going to quickly yank back. So it's going to be a quickly move this way, almost like a shaking type of an action. And you see this in a couple of different katas as well. So that's the Hangetsu, and that's an idea for the splitting hands.